Welcome to Fox One Gal Stories. I like to tell a story about the mirror. Have you ever heard of this idea, just look in the mirror? I have used this as a tool, as a way to understand what was going on within me, because I wanted to end this war between my mind and myself by looking at my thinking. Remember, I have no fancy title after my name or a paper that says I'm qualified to do this. So let's just call it a story. I'm just sharing some ideas here and they are there for the taking. Or please feel free just to turn this off. I do see life as a magical and mysterious place. I know the universe is beyond my rational mind to comprehend. I feel humble in the comparison to that immensity. I do look for a creation of life all around me and see its beauty that is far beyond the ability of my words to capture it. I awake every day saying, I have never seen a day like this. I then begin to change my focus from my mind to my heart. Children are constantly surprised and amused by life. You can play peekaboo with a child over and over again, and that child will just laugh. That's because they're engaged in being, loving, enjoying, and not holding on to ideas. Some like to call this judging what they are doing. Once they get a little older and realize they are playing a baby's game and understand what that concept or idea means, they lose interest. I like to say it's our ideas or our thoughts that contain our judgments and beliefs about what we are perceiving that limit our enjoyment. We start to understand that some activities are stupid, childish, and not cool. But is that really true? What makes something interesting or not interesting? When was the last time you did what you love to do just because? No reason. Can we just enjoy every activity that brings joy to our heart without letting certain ideas or beliefs or opinions about it interfere? We all have a story we call life, and life is easier when we are treated with love and respect by the people in our lives. I like to say if you want to experience personal freedom, for a moment you must fully accept the idea that out there is merely a reflection of what is going on inside of us. Yes, we do have impact on others, and the world has the ability to have impact on us. Physical reality exists, but if you want to grow, if you really want to be free of some of those ideas that are swimming around in your head, or programs, or some like to call this thinking or beliefs, that do not help us in any way, shape, or form because they are limited, we must ignore some things for a time. What if there was no out there, and you are in a room full of mirrors that gently and accurately reflect our ideas, belief systems, or our thinking? If there's no out there, we can take full responsibility for all of our experiences in our lives. To me, being responsible is simply the willingness to accept the outcome of our choices we have made, and it is also our ability to change our responses. You can try and fight your thinking, but I bet you end up with a big headache. So maybe we can disempower it by not talking disrespectful to oneself. So maybe by changing how we talk to ourselves or think of oneself can be helpful. Believe it or not, every action, there is a reaction in the world around us. Not only do we react to what's happening out there, we also react to this world inside ourselves. We attract things that match up to what is going on inside us. And you can put this to the test, because I don't want you to believe what I say. Just keep saying to yourself, I'm having such a bad day. What kind of results do you get? I like to say, if you don't like what you see, don't fight it. But maybe there's another way to look at this by saying it's an opportunity to see what is working and what is not. And if you don't like the results you are getting at this time in your life, why not try something else? I guess the question is, do you really want something new? Because for me, this was not the easiest thing to do. Let's look at a mirror. The mirror never changes, but the image does. If you do not like what you are seeing in the mirror, know you have the power to change it. What if we change the dialogue we have going on within us? What would that look like? Once I looked in the mirror, I could not help but see I had so much energy invested in those so-called images out there. I was tired and worn out at the end of each of my days. What if we freed up all the energy we have invested in those so-called images out there and invest them in something new? So here's the idea. Give it a shot, and you might feel silly doing this. I know I did. Maybe by talking to you in the mirror in a more loving and kind manner, and see what happens. To do this, you begin looking deeply in your eyes, taking some deep breaths, taking a few minutes to really look at yourself in the mirror. I like to say you might feel silly looking into the mirror and talking out loud to yourself. Your mind does this all the time, or some like to call this thinking. So we could say we are talking to ourselves all the time. Who cares? Take a moment, connect with yourself, then begin to say something new. I love and accept myself just the way I am. I deserve to be happy, joyous, and prosperous in life. Often, when you say these kind of things to yourself, our mind responds with a variety of statements that I call the yeah buts. Yeah, but I'm not good enough. Yeah, but life is hard. Your mind has an endless list of all these yeah buts. Every time I heard this, I knew it was a limited idea, or I like to call it a toxic belief that I had. And as you become aware of those yeah but statements, it's important to remind yourself they are just opinions. They are not the facts. When you become aware of any limited idea or belief, acknowledge the old ones. Tell yourself they are not true, and remind yourself of the new thoughts you want to integrate. I love and accept myself just the way I am. Life is limitless. All is well in my world. I deserve to be happy, joyous, and abundant. Keep reminding yourself of positive things. Create your own. I am love. I am grateful for who I am. Always use statements that are positively phrased, because our mind does not tend to register negatives. If you say, I don't want to be angry, your mind only hears anger, and you will be angry. And I like to say, anger is an alarm clock. Time to pay attention. Take a moment. Step back and just listen to what your mind is saying, and try not to judge this. You are just the observer here. Don't act from this position for a time. Just learn to listen. Learn to hear what your mind is saying. And I can't say this enough. No judging. Just be the observer. Once you begin to notice the internal dialogue, it may be uncomfortable, and you may find yourself feeling worse for a short time. You always talk to yourself, but you may have not been consciously aware of that conversation was not fact, but just an opinion. As long as the conversation remains subliminal, it is so much more damaging. When we become conscious of dialogue, we have the opportunity to change it. And you can choose to continue saying the same things to yourself that are disrespectful, or begin to talk to yourself in a more loving manner. Make sure you take the time to counter all negative statements with positive, gentle, loving statements. This process does not happen overnight. Our internal dialogue has been going on for years and years. So be kind to yourself, and maybe find something you love to do, and just do it. No reason. Of course, cross out any self-destructive activities. So just have fun, at least once a week, and don't listen to your mind when it says, yeah, but. If you want to have fun doing what you love to do, just do it. Fox One Gal, over and out. Until next time.